Hey, what's up everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to get hit with the truth. So today, gonna do the Triple G versus Ryota Murata breakdown video. So in this video, gonna discuss the big title unification bout that's taking place in the middleweight division. This fight takes place Wednesday, December 29th, and it'll be on DAZN. Now, what's shitty is you're gonna have to adjust to Japan time, and if you want to watch this fight, the whole card is kicking off at 2 a.m. in the morning, which means, you know, for me on a Wednesday, not a big deal. I work Wednesdays anyway, so I'll probably be just getting up and watching the main event as I go to work or whatever. But you know, I could be watching it at home before I head to work. But either way, it's going to be a really good fight, and you know, it just sucks the timing of the fight when it is, but it's Triple G. I mean, this is one of the most must-see fighters in all of boxing, and he's returning. Going to be a little over a year layoff for him against Murata, who it's about a 2-year layoff for him. But it's to unify belts at middleweight, so the winner will be the IBF and the WBA middleweight champion of the world. So a lot at stake here for these two veteran fighters. Triple G's 39, while Murata, I believe, is 35, 36. But the winner, hands down, is the #1 middleweight in the world. And, you know, can carry that into 2022, possibly setting up a Canelo showdown at some point, maybe. You know? So, we'll see. We'll see what happens with the result, but this is a big-time fight. Now, the breakdown videos, you know, as I just did, discuss the fight and what's at stake. And then I take each fighter individually. I talk about what they've done. Pretty much their last 3 fights is what I try to get to in that area, or 3 years of fighting. And then, you know, I start with the favorite, then I work to the underdog. But the questions that I ask is, you know, what do they need to do to win the fight? What kind of style? What game plan? Can they win by knockout? Can they win by decision? And what does it mean for them if they win the fight? You know, a winner, or what does it mean for them if they lose the fight? And then I go and do the same thing for the underdog. And then I ask all the same questions. Then I ask, is it better for boxing if Triple G or Ryota Murata loses, or wins or loses? You know, who's it better? What does boxing better between who wins and who loses? And then my final is the prediction of the fight. So we're going to jump to the start with the favorite, Triple G, Gennady Golovkin, the reigning IBF middleweight champion of the world. Now, what has Triple G done heading into this fight? Well, his last, if we're being honest, his last 3 fights have been, I know he fought Sergey Derevyanchenko. I think he had 1 fight after it might have been against Steve Rolls, but I'm not 100%. Don't hold me to that. I remember I believe he got a win in June of 2019. And then he fought Derevyanchenko for the vacant IBF middleweight title. Struggled in that fight. You know, even though their campus said he had the flu that day, he put Derevyanchenko down in the 4th, but then Derevyanchenko fought the fight of his life, and it went to the scorecards, and Triple G got out with the victory. A close but controversial win as he captured the middleweight title. And then last year he took on undefeated but unknown Primislav Saleta and dominated him, stopping him in 7 rounds to retain his world title. So Triple G's coming in, you know, rested. Even though he's 39, people are looking at him as an old man, and I'm sorry, I just don't agree. Triple G, to me, is going to be able to compete at a high level still for a while, for a few more years. And the reason I say that is Triple G hasn't taken too many years or fights of battery. You know, this guy rolled through the middleweight division and really didn't have trouble with anybody, you know, at all, up until Daniel Jacobs, when he fought Daniel Jacobs. And Jacobs took him 12. But I think the longest he had went, because he went on that, was it crazy 20 or 21 fight knockout streak. And the longest anybody took him was like Martin Murray took him to the 11th round, and Triple G didn't struggle against Murray, though. Murray was taking Triple G shots, but Triple G dominated that fight, stopped him in the 11th. But other than that, Triple G has been, other than the fight with Jacobs, the first fight with Canelo wasn't a pressing fight for Triple G, where he physically put too much on himself. He just, it was a close one, but I don't think it physically took a lot out of him. The second fight with Canelo was kind of a grueling back and forth, tough fight, and then the fight with Derevyanchenko. But outside of that, I don't believe that Triple G has really put too much tread on his tires. I just don't think he has, and I think this guy's got a lot of juice left in him. I think he's an all-time great fighter, so you're going to see most of those guys later in their career, even their good is better than most people's great. I've said that for a while now. So you're going to see Triple G be successful, in my opinion, at a later stage in his career. Now, heading in against Murata, going on to, somebody else's turf, it's not going to bother or affect Triple G, in my opinion. I think he's going to be able to handle it with flying colors. Now, what kind of game plan does Triple G need to have in this fight? I just think Triple G needs to do his boxer-puncher style to the fullest. I mean, I don't think he needs to get into an all-out firefight with Murata. I think he needs to box, but I also don't need to think he needs to just box like he did against David Lemieux to break down Murata. I think Triple G can take some chances, land some shots, test out Murata and see what Murata is made of, and then, go from there as he heads into the second half of the fight, because the couple things that I think Triple G's got on his side is his stamina is on point. He's ready to go. He's always in great shape and fully trained. And, I really think that he can break down Murata, and his goal should be to get Murata into the second half of the fight, because Murata hasn't fought in 2 years. So that should be Triple G's goal, to get him in the second half of the fight and stop him there. That should be his goal, breaking him down, but he doesn't need to just box. Murata's got power, but he doesn't have David Lemieux type power, that one punch scary power. Triple G's going to be able to use his angles and prove that he's the better boxer, and that's what he should do in this fight, but also take some chances and land some of those big power shots that he does, especially early. Test Murata out, see what he's made of. Can Triple G win by knockout? I think he can. I think Triple G's strong enough to hurt Murata early, and but I also think he can break him down and stop him in the middle to later rounds. So I definitely think Triple G can win by knockout. Can Triple G win by decision? Yeah, I think he can. I think he's the better of the two fighters in terms of boxing ability. I think he can break down Murata and outwork him. And yeah, I think he can win by a decision. What does this fight mean for Triple G if he wins? What kind of win is this? Well, it's huge. It's going to staple him as the no doubt number one middleweight in the world. Now, is he going to have some detractors like Charlo and Andre? Yes, but his resume and him unifying belts, becoming a unified champ, is going to separate him from those two fighters. And it's going to set him up. It could set him up for a potential third fight with Canelo. You never know. Canelo might just say, hey, fuck it, I want to fight Triple G again, in my next fight. So I really think it's got, plus Canelo's got to wait to see. He's waiting around for the January title fight between Ilunga Makabu at cruiserweight. So he might not be 100% that he's going to fight him. He might want to fight Triple G instead. So Triple G, it means everything for him if he wins this fight. It's a big win. It's going to, let everybody know, hey, look, I'm the number one middleweight in the world. Canelo's the number one super middleweight. I'm willing to move up. Let's dance. And then it'll be on Canelo. So Triple G, it means a lot. A loss devastates Triple G in this fight. What does it mean for him if he loses? It's going to hurt him badly if he loses to Murata. He needs to win this fight more than anything. And he needs to come out and have a great performance, in my opinion, A loss to Murata really makes people wonder if Triple G still has it. It's not to say Murata's a pushover, because he's a good fighter. It's just Triple G's 39. If he has any kind of a hiccup and loses his fight, people are going to question it. Even if it's a close win for him, people might question him. But, a loss of any kind is really going to hurt him. Okay, let's switch over to Ryota Murata, the WBA middleweight champion of the world. Now, his last 3 fights, or 3 years, he defeated, I want to say the guy, it was in December of 2019. He made an optional defense. I'm drawing a blank on the guy's name. I think it was Steve something, but the guy was from Canada, and he dominated him with a 5th round TKO to retain his title. Prior to that, he beat Rob Brandt, the only guy to truly beat Ryota Murata. He knocked Rob Brandt out. And then prior to that, he lost to Rob Brandt in October of 2018. Actually, this fight was going to happen. Murata was being looked at by Triple G following Triple G's loss to Canelo. Everybody Triple G wanted to fight Ryota Murata for the WBA title, and Murata lost to Rob Brandt by a one-sided 12-round unanimous decision. But he erased that defeat in July of 2019 when he knocked Rob Brandt out in the 2nd round. Now, he was supposed to have a 3rd fight with Rob Brandt, but that fight never came to fruition. I know there was issues during COVID and travel restrictions and things, and Rob Brandt recently got knocked out against Gennady Golovkin, Kazakh style. So there's nothing of that. But Murata, he hasn't fought in 2 years, but he's coming off back-to-back knockout wins. Now, he's avenged both of his defeats in his career. The first one was a bullshit decision loss in his home country of Japan. He lost to Hassan Nadam, so home court advantage to him doesn't really. I'm sure he loves being at home, but he, I don't think he's expecting to win just because he's from Japan and it's going to be in Japan. After he got robbed against Nadam, but he came back and stopped Nadam in their rematch, and he avenged his other defeat to Rob Brandt with a TKO. So Murata was gearing up to fight Canelo possibly last year. He was a hiccup away from fighting Canelo. So, I think Murata's going to be in shape. Murata's, he started late as a pro, but he's a former Olympic gold medalist. He's been brought along as a big deal. He's going to do big things. He's had a decent career thus far, and he's a tough fighter, and he is fighting at home. So, it's a big fight for Ryota Murata here. Biggest of his career against Triple G for sure. What does Murata need to do to win this fight? What is his game plan? Well, Murata needs to, it's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough fight no matter what he does. Triple G is a great fighter. But Murata just needs to, he does not need to get swarmed into or drawn into a boxing match. Triple G is going to win that fight. So he needs to apply pressure. He needs to see if Triple G has the movement and can take his punches, because Murata is a strong puncher. He can hit, and he needs to put some pressure on Triple G early to see how Triple G handles that kind of pressure. And he absolutely needs to be in great shape because he hasn't fought in 2 years. He's got to be ready to go, and possibly ready to go 12 hard rounds, and that's going to be tough after a 2-year layoff. But he does not need to lose the first half of the fight just to make it to the second half of the fight. He needs to get in there, put some pressure on Triple G, land some big shots, and see how Triple G handles it. But don't get into a straight dogfight to where Triple G is going to connect, because Triple G can land from so many different angles, and he's a really good fighter and boxer. Triple G is not going to just stand there and let Murata hit him. He's going to answer back, and Murata needs to be ready for that. So he needs to be ready for, an explosive type fight. Now, can Ryota Murata win by knockout? I don't know. Triple G has always had a great chin. He's always been able to box very well, but, Murata does hit hard also. So I think it's going to be hard to win a knockout, but I'm not saying it's impossible, because Triple G also hasn't been the most active fighter the last couple of years. So maybe his older age and everything will catch up to him. That's the thing about an older fighter. You never know when it's finally going to catch up to you. So maybe it will in this fight, and maybe Murata can overwhelm Triple G and stop him. Now, can Murata win a decision? You know, Triple G's the better boxer, but I'm not going to completely say that Murata can't win a decision in this fight. I think he is a live underdog. What does this fight mean for Ryota Murata? You know, what does a win mean for Murata? Well, it's iconic. Murata, not only does he defeat Triple G, Gennady Golovkin, a Hall of Famer, and get the biggest win of his career, but he also unifies middleweight titles and becomes the #1 middleweight in the world. So a win for Ryota Murata is huge. Right now I have him at like 6 or 7. So a win is huge for Ryota Murata. It would totally change his career and, and really make him the top dog at middleweight. What does it mean for Murata if he loses this fight? I don't think a lot of people are expecting him to win, but it is going to hurt him, depending on how he loses also. If he goes out there and gets his ass whipped against Triple G, people are going to be like, well, he's going to have to do a complete drawing board type scenario. He's going to have to go back to the drawing board and really, really seek what he needs to do next. And, at his age, does he really want to do that? So it's going to be a tough one, if he loses for him, especially if he gets his ass whipped. So now I'm going to ask the question, is it better for boxing if Triple G wins or if Ryota Murata wins? And the truth is, it's better for boxing if Triple G wins. Because really what people want to see with Triple G, he's a great fighter. People enjoy watching him fight. But so is Murata. Murata is a good fighter. He's not as well known as Triple G. So just looking at it from that standpoint, people are going to want to see Murata a little more than they're going to want to see Triple G fight more than Ryota Murata. But the other part of that is that people want to see a third fight with Canelo. No matter what age Triple G is. He could be 40. People are going to still want to see him and Canelo in the fight. So it's better for boxing if Triple G wins this fight. It really is. But Ryota Murata, it wouldn't be horrible. It's just we might be closing the door on a great all-time action fighter like Triple G if he loses this fight. He wouldn't be considered at the top level. People wouldn't be excited anymore. And then if he loses, we're probably going to miss out on a potential Canelo Triple G3 and never get to see that fight again. Even though most people feel Canelo's going to win the third fight, that's not the point, is people want to see that fight again. And now my final prediction. Who do I think is going to win between Triple G and Ryota Murata? And I think Triple G is going to win this fight. I think Triple G just overall is a better fighter. I really think the fact that Murata hasn't fought in 2 years is going to bite him in the ass. I think Triple G is just going to break him down. It's going to be an entertaining, good fight because Murata is a gold medalist. He is talented. He can fight, but I just don't think he's on Triple G's level. I think Triple G all around is better. I think he's going to break him down. I think he's going to beat him up, and I think he's going to stop him in the middle of the later rounds. That's what I see happening. But again, Murata is at home. That might make a difference. Triple G has not been the most active fighter, and I do think Murata is a live underdog, and I do think he has a chance to pull off an upset here. But if it's full-on Triple G, if it's Triple G that we know, Triple G's coming to win, and I think he's going to break down Ryota Murata, unify middleweight titles, and declare himself once again, with no doubt, the #1 middleweight in the world. So that's it, guys. This fight's taking place on Wednesday, December 29th on DAZN. It main events a DAZN card. Again, that DAZN card starting at 2 a.m. in the morning. So if you're on West Coast time, like I am, you're going to be catching that fight probably, that actual fight maybe between 5 and 6 in the morning. Just check it out, though. DAZN is bringing a lot, the fact that we're getting this fight at all is awesome. And I'm glad, I'm going to be able to see it. So check it out. That's the Triple G versus Ryota Murata breakdown video as they attempt to unify middleweight titles on Wednesday, December 29th on DAZN. Hope you guys enjoyed it. True Boxing, you've been hit with the truth.